The power of togetherness, transforming our world through connection. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast, where we explore ideas that have the potential to reshape our world. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both timeless and urgently relevant, the transformative power of togetherness. I'm thrilled to share with you the insights from my recent conversation with Melody Council, a visionary leader whose work in fostering unity and connection has inspired countless individuals and communities across the globe. Melody isn't just a thought leader, she's a catalyst for change. Her innovative approaches to community building have revitalized neighborhoods, transformed corporate cultures, and bridged divides that once seemed insurmountable. Her wisdom isn't just inspiring, it's a clarion call for all of us to reimagine our role in creating a more connected world. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Togetherness, really? That's your groundbreaking topic? Bear with me because we're about to challenge everything you think you know about what it means to truly come together. In a world where technology promises to connect us, but often leaves us feeling more isolated than ever, where political divisions seem to deepen by the day, where the very fabric of our communities sometimes feels like it's unraveling, the concept of togetherness takes on new urgency and complexity. Let's start by shattering a common misconception. Many of us believe that togetherness is about finding our tribe. You know, those people who think like us, look like us, share our backgrounds and beliefs. It's comfortable, right? But what if I told you that true togetherness, the kind that has the power to transform lives and reshape societies, is actually about embracing our differences and finding strength in our diversity? Melody shared a story that perfectly illustrates this point, and I promise you it's going to challenge the way you think about community building. So, picture this. A neighborhood known for its cultural divisions and tensions. Not exactly a poster child for unity, right? Well, a group of residents decided to start a community garden. Now, at first, people were skeptical. They saw their differences as barriers, reasons to stay apart. But here's where it gets interesting. As they began working side by side, planting seeds, tending to the growing plants, something remarkable started to happen. They began to share stories, swap recipes, learn about each other's traditions. This garden became more than just a source of fresh produce. It became a living, growing symbol of unity and diversity. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. These weren't people coming together because they were all the same. They came together despite their differences, and in doing so, they created something beautiful that benefited everyone. That's the kind of togetherness we're talking about today. But let's be real for a second. Coming together isn't always easy, is it? It requires vulnerability, openness, and often a willingness to step way outside our comfort zones. Melody emphasized that togetherness isn't a passive state. It's an active choice we must make every day. She shared an example from her own life that really hit home for me. As a leader in her field, Melody found herself surrounded by people just like her. Same professional background, same socioeconomic status. It was comfortable, sure, but she realized it was also limiting. So she made a conscious decision to expand her circle, to seek out connections with people from different walks of life. This led her to volunteer at a local community center where she met individuals facing challenges she had never personally experienced. At first, she felt like a fish out of water, unsure of how to connect. But by showing up consistently, listening without judgment, and being willing to learn, she formed deep and meaningful relationships that expanded her worldview in ways she never expected. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about your own circles. How diverse are the voices and experiences you expose yourself to? Are you surrounding yourself only with those who confirm your existing beliefs? Or are you brave enough to seek out perspectives that might challenge and expand your understanding of the world? I can almost hear some of you thinking, this all sounds great in theory, but how does it apply to my daily life? I'm glad you asked, because this is where the rubber meets the road. The insights Melody shared revealed that embracing togetherness isn't just about grand gestures or community projects. It's about the small, everyday choices we make. Let's talk about your workplace for a moment. How many of you have ever felt disconnected or disengaged at work? Yeah, I thought so. Well, Melody highlighted how the principles of togetherness can transform organizational culture. And the example she shared is going to blow your mind. Picture a company that was struggling with low morale and high turnover. Sound familiar? Well, the leadership decided to implement a radical policy of transparency and collaborative decision-making. They created cross-departmental teams, encouraged open dialogue about challenges, and get this, they involved employees at all levels in strategic planning. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like chaos. But here's the kicker. Not only did employee satisfaction skyrocket, but the company also saw increased innovation and productivity. By fostering a sense of togetherness, of shared purpose and mutual respect, they tapped into the collective intelligence and creativity of their entire workforce. This example invites us to reflect on our own work environments. How can we foster a greater sense of togetherness in our professional lives? It might be as simple as taking the time to truly listen to a colleague's perspective, or as bold as proposing a new collaborative project that brings different departments together. But togetherness isn't just about our professional lives. It has the power to transform our personal relationships and our communities as well. Melody shared a touching story about a neighborhood that was grappling with increasing isolation and disconnection, particularly among its elderly residents. A group of young adults in the area decided to take action. They organized a wisdom exchange program where older residents could share their life experiences, skills, and stories with younger community members. What started as a well-intentioned community service project evolved into something much more profound. Intergenerational friendships blossomed. The older residents felt valued and connected, while the younger participants gained invaluable life wisdom and a deeper appreciation for their community's history. The program didn't just bridge the generation gap. It created a web of mutual support and understanding that strengthened the entire neighborhood. Now, I want you to look at your own communities with fresh eyes. Who are the individuals or groups that might be feeling isolated or overlooked? How can you create opportunities for meaningful connection across different ages, backgrounds, or life experiences? As we reflect on these examples, it becomes clear that togetherness isn't just a nice to have. It's a fundamental human need that has the power to transform our lives and our world. But it's also important to acknowledge that embracing togetherness can be challenging. It requires us to be vulnerable, to step outside our comfort zones, and sometimes to confront our own biases and preconceptions. Melody emphasized that the journey towards true togetherness often involves discomfort and even conflict. But it's through navigating these challenges that we grow, both as individuals and as communities. She shared a powerful metaphor that stuck with me. Togetherness is like a muscle. The more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. So how do we start flexing this muscle of togetherness in our daily lives? Melody offered several practical suggestions that we can all implement. 1, practice active listening. In our next conversation, let's challenge ourselves to truly hear what the other person is saying without immediately formulating our response. This simple act can open up new levels of understanding and connection. 2, seek out diverse perspectives, whether it's through the media we consume, the events we attend, or the conversations we initiate. Let's make a conscious effort to expose ourselves to viewpoints different from our own. 3, create opportunities for collaboration. In our workplaces, our schools, our communities, how can we design projects or initiatives that bring different groups together towards a common goal? 4, embrace vulnerability. Sharing our own stories and experiences, even when it feels uncomfortable, can create powerful bonds and inspire others to do the same. 5, celebrate differences. Instead of seeing diversity as a challenge to overcome, let's reframe it as a strength to be leveraged and celebrated. Now, I want to share a story that Melody told me that really drives home the transformative power of togetherness. It's about a small town that was facing a crisis. The local factory, which had been the economic backbone of the community for generations, was shutting down. Unemployment was skyrocketing and people were losing hope. But instead of giving in to despair, something remarkable happened. The community came together. They organized town halls, not to complain, but to brainstorm solutions. People from all walks of life, former factory workers, small business owners, teachers, students, started sharing ideas and resources. One group of former factory workers realized they had skills that could be applied to sustainable energy production. They partnered with some local engineers and environmentalists to start a small solar panel manufacturing business. Another group, drawing on the town's agricultural roots, started a cooperative organic farm and farmers market. The local community college stepped up, offering retraining programs tailored to these new initiatives. Small business owners mentored budding entrepreneurs. Teachers incorporated real-world projects from these new ventures into their curricula, preparing the next generation for the town's evolving economy. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks and disagreements along the way. But by coming together, by leveraging their diverse skills and perspectives, this community didn't just survive, it reinvented itself. Within a few years, the town had become a model of sustainable, community-driven economic development. This story illustrates a profound truth. When we come together, when we truly embrace the power of togetherness, we can overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. We can transform crisis into opportunity. We can create a future that's not just different, but better than what came before. But here's the thing, this kind of transformation doesn't just happen. It requires intention, effort, and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones. It requires us to see beyond our immediate circles and recognize the untapped potential that lies in our broader communities. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question inspired by my conversation with Melody Council. What would our world look like if we approached every interaction, every relationship, every challenge with a mindset of togetherness? Imagine a society where our differences are seen not as dividing lines, but as threads in a rich, colorful tapestry. Picture workplaces where collaboration and mutual support are the norm, not the exception. Envision communities where no one feels isolated or left behind, where the wisdom of the old and the energy of the young come together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. This vision might seem idealistic, but through the stories and insights shared by Melody Council, we can see that it's not just possible. It's already happening in pockets all around us. The question is, are we ready to be part of this transformation? Now, I'm not just going to leave you with warm, fuzzy feelings and vague aspirations. I'm challenging each and every one of you to take concrete action. Here's what I want you to do. 1, this week, reach out to someone in your community who you normally wouldn't interact with. Maybe it's a neighbor you've never spoken to or someone from a different department at work. Have a conversation with them. Learn their story. 2, look for an opportunity to collaborate with people who are different from you. It could be a project at work, a community initiative, or even just planning a neighborhood event. Embrace the diversity of ideas and perspectives. 3, reflect on your own biases and comfort zones. What's holding you back from connecting with others? Challenge those limitations. 4, share your experiences. Use social media, conversations with friends, or whatever platform you have to spread the message of togetherness. Be the catalyst for change in your own circles. 5, finally, commit to making togetherness a daily practice. Like any muscle, it gets stronger with use. Make a conscious effort every day to connect, to listen, to collaborate. Remember, togetherness isn't just a concept. It's a choice we make every day. It's a muscle we can strengthen, a skill we can develop, and a powerful force for positive change in our lives and our world. As we move forward from this conversation, let's carry with us the wisdom and inspiration of Melody Council. Let's commit to being agents of connection and unity in our spheres of influence, because together we have the power to create a more connected, compassionate, and vibrant world. The challenges we face, from climate change to economic inequality, from political division to social isolation, can seem overwhelming when we face them alone. But when we come together, when we harness the power of our collective creativity, wisdom, and determination, there's no limit to what we can achieve. So I leave you with this call to action. Go forth and connect. Break down barriers, build bridges, embrace the uncomfortable conversations and the unfamiliar perspectives. Be the catalyst for togetherness in your world, because in the end, our strength lies not in standing alone, but in coming together. And together, we can transform our world, one connection at a time. Thank you.